Tell us about your second venture, Bitcoin Kampala.
Bitcoin Kampala is not a venture.
Okay.
It's an initiative
Initiative. Okay.
because Bitcoin Kampala maybe is a continuation of other people's efforts
Okay.
through me. The idea is Bitcoin circular economies have their history in El Salvador, Bitcoin Beach,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been inspired by two kind gentlemen to spark something of the sort or even better within Uganda. So Bitcoin Kampala is a social project, a social experiment that allows the community to onboard on Bitcoin however they see possible, with the goal of making Bitcoin usable on a daily basis in each of the communities where that concept is adopted.
Okay.
So right now, Bitcoin Kampala has started that initiative in two places. One, it's a district in the far eastern part of Uganda called Bujiri, where the orphanage is. And the community around the orphanage essentially should complete the circle.
Mm-hmm.
The orphanage gets in Bitcoin donations, they spend them on the community,
Okay.
the community spends them on the orphanage. So
Okay.
creating a circle. And then the other is Bitcoin Kampala, which is the main city. So within the neighborhood areas of Makerere University being the biggest, we hope to start that same circular movement of Bitcoin by one, incentivizing students to earn Bitcoin in whenever or wherever they can,
Mm-hmm.
and then spend that Bitcoin within that local community with the businesses we've onboarded, like barbers, spend it on food, and maybe even use it for other things. So that's basically Bitcoin Kampala.
So if I heard it correctly, Bitcoin Kampala is an idea to further the progress of Bitcoin adoption in a circular way.
Yep.
And you would want the community to sort of take on this vision themselves because it's an initiative that you want to gain a life of its own, which sounds very different from Gorilla Sats, which almost is an organization that has a variety of different services and product it offers for its customers.
For most people, to draw a distinction between Gorilla Sats and Bitcoin Kampala, everything that Gorilla Sats does right now or even in the future is paid. Right now, it might not be paid in monetary terms. It's paid in form of partnerships. It's paid in form of grants. So Gorilla Sats is a for-profit company.
Okay.
And on the other hand, Bitcoin Kampala is what I would call a volunteer role. I am not paid a salary
Okay.
currently running Bitcoin Kampala. And everything that goes into Bitcoin Kampala goes to one, if it's education, the community gets it free.
Mm-hmm.
If it's donating to the orphans, we don't expect anything. If it's orange peeling a business and setting them up, getting them merchandise, all that is free because it feeds into the long-term vision of Bitcoin, daily Bitcoin usage.
Okay. So if you want the community to really build a life of its own for Bitcoin Kampala and really Uganda as a whole, and then maybe even larger in Africa,
Yeah.
when does Brindon take a little backseat from that? Like, what is that tipping point when you feel comfortable to say, I've done my role, the stewards are here, I
Yeah,
can go focus on.
even right now, because one of the things that I prioritized in the last quarter, being the last 3 months, was focusing on these particular people that had highlighted interest in Bitcoin. And offhead, you will see people like Angela, you'll see people like Martha, you'll see people like Afan, you'll see gentlemen like Sam. So we have, and on the other side of Bujiri, Isma is becoming a very good leader. So the idea for me has always been, when we take, I would not like to call it vacation, but when you take a road trip like this,
Right.
when you go away from the community,
There's someone there.
there's someone who can take it on. So for those who follow my activity on Twitter, I know you noticed it was a bit silent. We were focusing on that end a lot because then the question becomes, how does the community take it on if you don't give it back to them? So right now we have capable hands. We just have to give them more experience, create more activity for them to do. And I would like to step out of that role as a community leader because I need to make some money. And sometimes when you're in the position of social project lead, you have to limit how much for profit you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got a lot on his plate, is what I'm learning.
Yeah, because
He probably has 3 other things that he's working on.
yeah, I mean, as
Oh yeah, he's running.
being an entrepreneur is about how much can you take and do it well. Some people believe in focusing, but by the time an entrepreneur focuses, they focus on things in periods of time.
Right.
It's not like focus for 30 years or what. So we've built Bitcoin Kampala from the ground up, and the level at which it is, it can sustain itself. We just have a few things we need to finish up, and then we can hand it over to the community to do as they wish because it's their project. With Gorilla Sats, we have a very long-term vision. Tourism has been unlocked to a minimal level in Uganda, and I feel like Bitcoin can play a big role unlocking that because the country is so gifted. I can't explain it in the next 30 minutes. I would not be done.
I think the world is totally unaware of it's called the Pearl of Africa. Is that correct?
Yep.
Did anyone know that Uganda is known as the Pearl of Africa? I surely didn't.
Did anyone know that Uganda is the center of the world?
Yeah. But I mean, equator passes through many countries. Why Uganda specifically the center of the world? Because if you're talking about the equator, it could be in other regions as well. Why Uganda specifically? Because it cuts through.
All those countries are in the center of the world.
Oh, okay. Okay. You were not saying that Uganda only is the center of the world. Okay. We're on the same page. I was just like, that's not true. There's so many other countries. Okay, fair. Damn.
So
I mean, you have mountains. You have do you have volcanoes?
Yeah, we have an active volcano.
And you've got waterfalls. You've got gorillas. You've got the big 5. You have Lake Victoria,
the biggest freshwater lake.
Do you guys get snow?
We have snow on the peak of Mount Rwenzori. It doesn't snow in Uganda. Uganda has a very consistent climate.
So you don't have jungles. Wait, sorry, you have jungles. You don't have forests.
We do have
forests. You have forest jungles. So the only thing you don't have is desert. You have everything else.
I mean, we have a fair share of a hot place, but it's not desert.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Pearl of Africa. So we need to explore.
I'll summarize this. If you've never been to Uganda, let me just give you what Uganda looks like. All the tourism you've ever wanted to do can happen in so small a country that you can do it in a week or 2. You can go, just think of anything, and I'll tell you that you can do it. Water rafting, if you're a bungee jumping person, if you like to sail, okay, not sail, you can't sail on that, but boat rides.
We'll put this to the test. Once we go to Kampala, we'll do it all.
You can do it all. You can be in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere at the same time.
Huh?
Like everything is possible in Uganda, and for a fact, it being in a small place, you have the chance to do as much as you can
in a short period of time.
Yeah, and spend less.
And no one talks about you guys. Kenya gets all the credit. South Africa gets a ton of attention. Even Tanzania has Kili.
Yeah.
We'll put Uganda on the map.
Well, the goal is not to just be on the map. The goal is for them to feel the sweat. I think if Uganda goes big on tourism, we already have everything, and we can beat everyone. But that's for the next generation, us, to do it.
We'll make Bitcoin tourism a reality.
Yep.